This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. It's Tuesday, January 17th. Here are your top stories of the day. Bank of the Ozarks announced that net income for the fourth quarter of 2016 was a record $87.8 million, a 70% increase from $51.5 million for the fourth quarter of 2015. For the full year of 2016, profits were a record $270 million, a 48% increase from a year ago. Little Rock-based Bank of the Ozarks is approaching $19 billion in assets after two big acquisitions last year that leave it as the biggest bank headquartered in Arkansas. Clean Line officials have asked a federal court in eastern Arkansas to move a fall hearing date on a lawsuit protesting the $2 billion wind energy transmission line. They say the controversial development is time-sensitive and that legal delays could imperil the project's financing and three-year construction schedule. Two groups of landowners and members of the state's congressional delegation oppose the wind energy project that starts in Oklahoma, cuts through Arkansas, and provides power in Tennessee and the surrounding areas. On the legislative front, Senator Jake Files, Republican of Fort Smith and chairman of the Senate Revenue and Tax Committee, said he will file an e-fairness bill this week to collect lost taxes on internet sales. Files estimated enforcement would result in $100 million back into state coffers and said he expected that money to be redirected into future tax cuts for Arkansas taxpayers over the next 2 to 4 years. And you can keep up with those stories each and every day at our newly designed website at talkbusiness.net. A quick break and we're back with a civil yet spirited debate between State Senator Joyce Elliott and Representative Charlie Collins. Guns on college campuses. It's been a long simmering issue. Hear their discussion after this.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
For 2 legislative sessions, Representative Charlie Collins has pushed a bill that will allow for licensed concealed carry holders to be able to have their guns on college campuses. The bill died in a Senate committee that Senator Joyce Elliott sat on last session. Current law allows for college boards to make the decision, but all in the state of Arkansas have opted not to. Undeterred, Collins is back for another battle. He and Senator Elliott discussed. So we were talking beforehand, we really didn't get into any debate on it. You're talking about your guns on college campuses bill and what you wanted to see done with it. You think you've got more support than you had last time with 70 in the House. What happened to it last time? Where did it derail? Is it down in the Senate?
It died in the Senate committee, and it was right at the time RFRA was happening, so the emotions were so high and people were so worn out that the Senate just wasn't going to move any more controversial bills forward.
Yeah, so Senator Elliott, I'll give you a chance to talk a little bit about Representative Collins' position on this, and I'll let you guys go back and forth a little bit.
Well, I was on the Judiciary Committee, I think, where your bill was going to came to, which of course, I was a no vote, and I appreciate the effort that I just happen to vehemently disagree, because I just don't think adding more guns is going to be the answer. I understand they're rampage killers, but I think at some point we're going to have to decide in our country that the Second Amendment is something we all respect, but it's not something that I think should be used to try to address every issue where we know bad things can happen. And so on a campus where the folks on university and college campuses had an opportunity to say whether or not they wanted the guns, and they said no. And I haven't seen your bill because you haven't filed it, but I'm just hoping there's not a mandate in it to require there to be guns on campus, or to?
Yeah.
Will there be?
Yeah. So people always bring up things like, Principle A or the Second Amendment or these types of things, and those are all extraneous to the issue.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is the safety of our loved ones in places like college campuses.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have in America is a problem. Every month, routinely, somewhere in America, somebody's getting shot on college campuses and killed. This didn't just start last year. It wasn't just Columbine in 1998. It happens again and again and again and again. And so there's a problem. And all the political debate about guns is secondary to the fact that innocent people are being killed. So what I want to do is I want to help offer some solutions in addition to the solutions that are already in place. For example, campus security, training, and other things people are doing. Those are all helpful, but they're not the answer. I believe part of the solution is deterring these crazy killers who plot and plan and create and craft a situation where they can murder innocent people so that television cameras will come shine upon them and they can get their manifesto out.
And what would be in your bill to make sure we don't create a situation where there are so many guns and everybody is shooting and everybody therefore is less safe? What would be in the bill to counter that?
So in Arkansas, as you know, we have the concealed carry permitting process run by the state police department. It works really well. We don't see on the front pages of newspapers or our television newscasts or our political shows discussion of concealed carry holders and bad behavior. In malls, in restaurants, up and down the streets of the city, these are not the people that are creating problems with their weapons. They're the good guys and the good gals, and where they are, or where they could be, takes people like these rampage killers and causes them pause, and they have to think twice. If I go there and try and create my havoc to get famous and get the TVs, somebody might be there who could stop me. In Ohio State 2 weeks ago, we were very fortunate that for no reason other than coincidence, a police officer was at a particular location checking a gas leak or something of that nature. At the same time, serendipitously for us, a killer had weapon, knife, car, and chased after people. But because the police officer was where nobody expected him to be, he was able to interdict that situation.
And I understand you're trying to solve a problem, but what's
Thank you.
I do, I respect that.
Well, thank you, that's important.
What's the ratio to the number of shootings that we've had? Just say in the whole universe of the number of times shootings have not taken place. Because there can be heinous things that happen, but you have to ask yourself something about proportionality. Does the proportionality warrant this kind of response? And I would assume you have some data about that. Or are you looking at data like that?
Yeah. So I don't know what data you have that you're speaking of that shows that my bill somehow is going to create more accidents or problems. But what I've got is there are people that are dying in America. It's happening monthly. It's happening by the dozens per year. I can show those numbers and how often this is happening. In Arkansas, we're getting our 1% share. We're about 1% of the United States. And it's happening here in our fair share type of 1% ratio. And so the question is, if we can deter some of these killers, will that solution help to reduce the number of, and not just in Arkansas, but like many things, healthcare, tax policy, etc. I think we can be a leading light for the country. So instead of people saying, thank God for Mississippi, otherwise Arkansas would be last, they could be saying, how do we solve the problems in America? What are they doing down in Arkansas?
Look,
just like healthcare.
Because it might deter. But what I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about the big picture. In the
That's
scheme,
pretty big.
It's the big picture of the number of times these things are not happening. Is this kind of response warranted? And where I get my information, for being skeptical, most police officers that I know are against having, a proliferation of guns everywhere. And I'm not saying that in a negative way about you, but most of them do not want this kind of thing. And and several outfits and I know you might not be a part of the Sarah Brady, I've forgotten what they're called, that group, but Mothers Against Guns. These folks have done the research, and that's where I get that information. But more importantly, the first responders are the ones that I have read about and know about most who are concerned about, well, when I arrive, what do I know that's going on? That's a big deal for them. And I totally get it that we don't want people being shot up. I don't want certain people to drive cars. I'd like to make laws, but that would be a disproportionate response probably because we have a few bad actors. Just like with the GIF thing, that people are, making that assumption because of a few bad actors.
I got to wind it down right there, but I got to let you guys know that number one, this is my job every day is to get these people together and let them have meaningful dialogue, and that is awesome. Thank y'all very much for a very civil and diplomatic conversation on this. And it will be continued, I suspect, in the Senate Judiciary and the House Judiciary Committee.
The civility, too. It will, because we always are.
State Senator Joyce Elliott and Representative Charlie Collins. You can catch more of their conversation at talkbusiness.net. After this break, we'll run through our new State of the State magazine. Stick around.
Circuits turn on the lights by making a connection, by closing the loop. At Entergy, we believe our economy is circular too. What you put in comes back. So we invest billions in new infrastructure, which helps attract new industry, which helps create new jobs. We partner with local communities to electrify the economy, and together we power life. Entergy.
When was the last time you felt free? It's time to uncover that feeling again. With the compassion of a cross and shield, accepted by over 90% of doctors and specialists, and the power of a card that opens doors in all 50 states, giving you the freedom to love, to dream, to dance like no one is watching. Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Live fearless.
Our latest magazine edition of Talk Business and Politics is out. It's our new annual State of the State report. Well, what will you find in this 100-page book? Well, first of all, a series of political coverage, including our top legislators list and John Brummett's feature story on Governor Asa Hutchinson and how he'll navigate in the age of Donald Trump. A roundup of nearly a dozen different industries and what business leaders and experts think may be in store for 2017. And finally, several economists and pundits weigh in with their opinions on how 2017 will play out in the Arkansas and national economies. Check it out through our website as we roll out these stories and all of that analysis over the next week. Or if you're at the state capitol, you can find copies on our magazine rack near the front door tunnel. That's all for today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.